What's happening, guys? Supin over here, back with another video. Ever since the Ghost of Tsushima State of Play on Thursday, jealous Xbox fanboys have been screaming downgrade. But just because it's them saying it, doesn't mean it's not true. So let's compare and contrast parts of the State of Play with the E3 gameplay demo from last year. First, let's look at the horse's hoofs real quick. In the E3 gameplay demo, as he's galloping, you can see he's kicking up a lot of mud. Now if we go over to the State of Play, he's not really kicking up anything. Now, I don't necessarily know if that would be considered a downgrade or if that's a change due to artistic decision, similar to the puddles in Spider-Man. If you aren't aware, in Spider-Man PS4, in one of the E3 demos, there was a larger puddle in one of the rooms that Spider-Man was fighting in, and in the released version of the game, the puddle was smaller, so people were saying that it was downgraded. It was actually called Puddlegate. But when Digital Foundry did their kind of in-depth review of the game, they said that the game was actually better looking and upgraded from what the E3 demo was showing, and that the water was likely just artistic decision to change how much water was in that room or how big the puddle was. So that may be the reason why there's less mud being kicked up by the horse's hooves. I'm not entirely sure, but that is something that I did notice. One thing I can say for sure looks downgraded is the horse's tail. In my reaction to the State of Play, I noted that the horse's tail looks less like hair and more like strips of leather or plastic. And in going back and looking at the E3 gameplay reveal, you can definitely see the horse's tail looks more like hair than it does in the State of Play. So, to me, that's definitely a downgrade. I can't chalk that up to artistic decision because it's either hair or it's not hair. And definitely in the State of Play, it looks less like hair than in the E3 demo. So I'm going to say at least that aspect of the game has been downgraded. Another place that I did see a difference is in the character models. I put the State of Play on the right and the E3 demo on the left. And you can see in the E3 demo, the character model just seems to have more detail. I don't know what it is, but they look better. Here's another comparison of two female characters. And again, on the left, which is the D3 demo, she just looks better than the character model on the right. She's just more detailed. I don't really know how to explain it, but just visually when I look at them, to me, the one on the left looks better. And that just seems to be with all the character models. When I look at the ones from the E3 demo versus the ones from the State of Play, the ones from the E3 demo just seem to look better, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's a downgrade, maybe it has to do to polish. I don't know, but that is definitely something I did notice. Another thing I noticed, and I'm not sure how to explain it, but for whatever reason, in the State of Play, everything seems to have like a film over it, like a haze when you compare it to the E3 demo. In the E3 demo, everything is super crisp, super clear, very vibrant. And then in the State of Play, it's just kind of dull and hazy. And I don't know if it's because of the lighting of the scene, if that's making a difference or what it is, but it just seems like everything in the E3 demo is just much more clear and crisp. And everything in the State of Play just kind of has like this slight haze. It's very like less punch to it, to the image, and I'm not entirely sure why. But looking at them side by side, 100% the E3 demo visually looks nicer to me than the State of Play. It just does. For whatever reason, when I look at the E3 demo, it just visually looks nicer to me. And I don't know if that's a downgrade or if that's just they changed the lighting or if they made some type of change that's impacting how it looks. I don't know. But when looking at them together, 100%, if I had to choose one, I would choose the E3 demo over the State of Play. Another thing I noticed in the State of Play, which there's really nothing to compare it to in the E3 demo, but in the State of Play, there's two scenes where he's walking through water. One where he's about knee height and one where he's like just like feet in the water. And both times, nothing's happening to the water. No ripples, no nothing. and it just looks really weird. So while technically not something I could say is a downgrade because there's nothing to compare it to, it's definitely something that looks weird and not right. When it's all said and done, I don't know if I can 100% say that it's been downgraded, but I can definitely say it doesn't look as good as it did in the E3 demo. But the game isn't out yet, and there's still over a month before it releases, so there's a lot that they can polish up or fix or correct before the game actually launches. So my verdict as of right now is the state of play does not look as good as the E3 demo. But that does not mean that the final game will not look as good as the E3 demo. Because both with Spider-Man and with God of War, people were saying that it was downgraded or didn't look as good as what we were shown prior. And then when the games launched, both of them ended up looking better than anything we had seen. So until it really launches and we have it in our hands to look at and compare, really no way of saying whether it's been downgraded or not. But like I said, definitely does not look as good as it did. So we'll have to wait and see. Well, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it looks like it's been downgraded, or do you think it looks better? Let me know, and as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next Supernova.